look more like 7 foot to
I
me.
know, boy. Yeah.
Next to me, that's why.
We'll have you guys stand next to each other.
He's like,
I'm 5'1".
No, you're
Nah.
like,
What's up? You telling me your love, my style.
and then I'll
Yeah.
ask them and
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, like, tell me what you think. And then same response where it's like, oh, that's nice. Like, good job. And I'm like, okay. Like,
What's up? You telling me your love, my style.
there's never a time frame for any. Everyone is on their own time and own path.
But
and
I
that's
want
the
it
beauty of
now.
it. I know you're like,
We all
What's up? You telling me your love, my style.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Another Monday. I'm your host, Anthony, co-host.
Kelsey.
We're being welcomed by a special guest, artist and singer and songwriter, Stephen Lee. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, are you nervous? Are the
I'm
nerves
excited.
out?
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You mentioned this is your first one.
This is my very first podcast, so I'm very
And
excited.
it's with us.
Yes,
So when he blows up.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you have a very interesting trait that I was, like Kelsey told me about, and Nathan as well, was that you're a teacher and you do music and you juggle music on the side.
Right.
Yeah, what subject do you teach?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am an English teacher first, and then they found out wonderfully that I was fluent in Spanish, and they said, "You want to teach Spanish?" This was about 10 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and I said yes, and I have been doing it ever since. So I love
my
it, me
gosh.
encanta. So
Yay.
it's just wonderful.
You probably know more Spanish than me.
Está bien.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in a Spanish household, or how did you learn the Spanish?
Well, I was looking for a job. I was about 16, and I went to McDonald's, and they said, we have a huge Spanish-speaking population here.
Yeah.
It would be great if you could speak Spanish. And I said, with my very broken Spanish back then, hablo español.
Yeah, that's me.
And that's what really helped me learn Spanish, because it was on the job at McDonald's when I was 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that catapulted me to learning it.
Yeah.
It like forced you to figure it out.
It forced
Yeah.
me to figure it out, yeah. And I had a lot of friends there that were helping me. No, you're saying it wrong. This is how you say
Yeah.
it. So they were really my teachers.
And it gets confusing. There's like, oh my gosh, there was a video on social media where it was like, cuando cuentas cuentos.
I saw
Have you seen
that, yeah.
And it just kept going and going. Like, I was like, I showed my dad and I was like, when does it stop?
How do you say when in Spanish? Cuando. What about you tell? Cuentas. And stories? Cuentos. How many? ¿Cuántos? And you count? Cuenta. So how would you say when you tell stories, count how many stories you tell? Cuando cuentas cuentos, cuenta cuántos cuentos cuentas.
But it could not
funny.
make
Yes.
sense, but it makes sense.
It's, when you hear it, but
Yeah.
you can see if someone's learning it, it would be.
Yeah.
They have it in French too, where it's all these French words, and
It
it's the
sounds
same
similar.
word.
Yeah. But you seen that video?
I've seen that, yeah.
Maybe we'll put the video up on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was also gonna touch on, what do your students say? Are they hard on you? Because you're a middle school teacher.
I'm
He's
a middle school teacher, yes.
So how's that?
Angels, right?
Oh, angels, yes. Escuincles todos. No, they're not. But no, they're angels. They're angels because I just really like working with them. I think they can sense who wants to be there and who wants to get in their car and leave right at the bell.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
They're already
yeah.
packing their stuff.
They're already
like,
packing their stuff.
2 minutes, 5 minutes before the bell rings.
Which is, understandable because it's a challenging age group.
Yeah.
But I really like them. I like the subject matter, and I give them a lot of bad dad jokes.
Oh,
I
really?
think that's my classroom management. I say all these ridiculous jokes.
Dad jokes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm bored. Well, get a skate and you'll be a skateboard.
You'll be a
I mean, it's
skateboard.
just
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. So
they
they
just
just
look
kind
at
of
you like-
look at me like, we'll just do the work, so he won't say any of these dad jokes. So yeah, it's great, and they have been. very surprised that I'm singing.
Yeah, what was their first reaction when when you showed them?
That's a great question. I just put it on, and they recognized my voice, which surprised
Really?
me. Yeah,
So you didn't even tell them,
I-
guys, this is my song.
I
Tell me
didn't.
what you think.
I was a little nervous to tell them. This
Yeah.
is the person with the dad jokes.
Yeah.
So I thought,
And kids are brutal. They're ruthless.
yeah, I really thought, okay, I'm not going to say, here's my song. What do you
Yeah.
think? So I didn't do that, but I put it on, and I saw a couple of heads, look up like that, and then they started moving.
Oh, nice.
Much to my surprise.
Yeah.
And then one said, is that you? Is that you? Is that you? And with, the happiness in
They
their
were-
faces,
yeah.
I confessed.
You're like, yes, it's me.
So I owned it, yeah.
But if it was a negative reaction, you'd be like, no, that wasn't me. That's not me.
Yeah, I don't know who it sounds
I don't
like
know.
me. Yeah. So I was really, happy about that and very surprised because you're right, that age group.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, yeah.
I've had my share of humbleness from kids where they just know where it hurts. And they'll say sometimes they don't have a filter too. But that's how you know you can believe them. You know they're being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been even surprised when I've been playing other people's music, and I love it, of course, and they say, can you put on yours?
Really?
That has
Wow,
been
that's nice.
Yeah.
really flattering. Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all.
What songs would you say are their favorites?
Well, they love Dem Lips, which is a hip-hop
Yeah.
song.
I like that one. Yeah.
Thank you. They love Dem Lips. And It's Time to Live Our Lives. That was the first one I played
I don't know if
from
I
a
have
while.
that
Yeah, you
one.
may not have
Yeah.
heard that one. That was the first one I did. And I played that first, and they like that one a lot. So I think those two are probably, they like Soul in Love with You. They like Depart.
Okay.
Some of the students like Depart.
Have they heard Cafecito?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were cracking up.
Yeah.
They were cracking up on
It's a
Cafecito.
fun song.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun in the studio doing that song.
That's a good song. I love that song.
Thank you, Cafecito. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I also want to, I'm going back, but you had mentioned that you took Spanish classes back in high school
In high
or
school,
whatnot,
yes.
but your Spanish was still a little broken, right?
Yes.
But you had to go into McDonald's and learn it. So
Yeah.
basically the education just gave you the kickstart, but you learned everything you did through the actual experience of being around people and communicating with other, the community basically in Spanish back and forth.
Right.
So my question is, we talk about that all the time. We appreciate education, but the experience is the most important thing. So I don't know, do you agree with that or?
Yeah, because I do. There's a part B to it as well, though, because I needed to learn things like how to conjugate a verb and those things to teach it. Because you have to teach the grammar when you're a teacher, and so I needed to know that, and it did kind of help me break it down and understand the background of Spanish. But in terms of having a conversation in Spanish, McDonald's, and then I did another thing too. Is that I joined a church and they asked, I was a very bold teenager. They said, we need someone to translate. I'm 19 years old. We need someone to translate the service in Spanish. Does anyone here speak Spanish? And I don't know why I raised my hand.
And you still weren't fluent.
I
yet.
still wasn't
That's
fluent.
so
So I
funny.
ended up doing it every Sunday. So that increased.
But that's why you're fluent to this day.
Yeah.
Those risks that you took.
I know. Yeah. It's, you have to be a risk taker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and sometimes when we're younger, we take more risk. Hopefully, they're positive risks.
Yeah, right. Not the negative.
Not
yeah.
not the negative ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember a lot of the people at the church, when church was over, they would say, cafecito. And with such love. Cafecito.
Oh, right, because they're off.
Yeah. And it kind of stayed with me. Every time I hear the word, I get this warm feeling of acceptance and love. And you know how people hold their coffee? It's always like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it stayed with me. And I kept saying, singing cafecito. I didn't know what the lyrics would be.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stayed with me. So that's kind of the origin story of
the
that song.
Are your songs all like they have a background story, or is it?
Most of them do.
Yeah?
Yeah, most of my songs have a background story. Most of them, they're expressing some emotion. Sometimes the title comes to me first.
Okay.
Like in Cafecito.
Yeah.
It just comes to me, and sometimes it comes with melody.
Okay.
Like that did. Cafecito.
Yeah.
I just kept saying Cafecito.
And that's the
Yeah, and I thought, this is kind of silly. It's not like Dim Lips, the hip hop song.
Yeah.
And so it starts there, and then I write what I'm feeling at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the best. I like when it's something that resonates a little with your life or story, or something that just stuck with you, like those words.
Yes.
I bet that's like those are the best songs, because then it just comes out of that feeling.
Yeah. Sometimes you discover what you're feeling by way of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Like how the beat's making you feel.
how the beat's making me feel, right. Or I think, oh, it's just fictitious. It's just, I'm just having fun. I'm really not, this is not what I feel. And then a year later you listen to it and you're like, that's exactly what I was feeling. It was in my subconscious.
How do you feel about going back to finish a song that you started writing or singing like a year ago? Because I feel when there's times Nathan will tell me, oh, let's pull up that song from like 2020, let's redo it, and I'm like, but it's not the same feeling. Like I tell him, like I can't, like I just feel like it's not, like in that moment and that time I had a certain feeling, which like it really clicked with the song, and then now it's like I don't have that feeling anymore. Like, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, it's hard for me. In fact, Nathan, who's the engineer, Nathan often says to me, you always complete a song. You never don't complete a song.
That's good.
So he just said that a few weeks ago, and I didn't really think about that because I don't know who his other clients are and how they work. But to answer your question, I have to do it in one session.
That's awesome. Let me tell you, not a lot of people do that and can do that.
Okay.
It's very difficult.
Oh, I'm glad you're telling me that, because I put a lot of pressure on myself. Why am I not done? And it's 5 minutes has passed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I put a lot of pressure on myself. What I do go back to are the background vocals.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But the song, I come in melodically and lyrically with that all there. And then I sing that, and there, I have to admit there's a bit of a, I got through that.
Yeah.
Because I started singing kind of late. So it's like, whoo, I'm still kind of feel like I'm a bit of a novice. But Nathan reminded me.
You don't sound like a novice.
Oh, well, thank you. But some of that, I like that feeling of that nervousness of, is it going to happen or not? Because it keeps the energy up in the studio. But yeah, I'm unaware of going back, later and reworking a song. I just do it right away.
That's perfect. Yeah, because I've had even like skilled, trained, like classically singers where it takes them a while. Like I've had someone where they didn't release a song until like 2 years.
Oh boy.
And because they're like nitpicking, they're like, no, it needs to be perfect. But at the end of the day, like nothing's perfect.
Yeah, it's hard not to nitpick and do that. But you're right, nothing's perfect. And with art, imperfections really are wonderful. Yeah, because it makes it more human.
Yeah, like the long note that, remember the one in Cafecito where you were like, oh my God, so long.
Yeah. At the end of the song of Cafecito, there's like that long note, like the last 20 seconds of the song. So like, did you actually like keep your vocals that long?
It was challenging, but it was fun.
Yeah, because we had it playing and he was like, he's still going.
I appreciate you noticing that. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Having people notice little things about your 3 to 4 minute song. Not everyone does that, and that happens. You know, when you go and you're painstakingly working on it, and people listen to it, and after 3 or 4 minutes, they have a quick reaction to it, and sometimes it's, that was nice. Where are we going now?
I know.
And you're like, but I worked on it so hard.
Yeah.
So that's happened to you?
It has, because I have a lot of different genres, and then
Yeah.
people like different things. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I tell my students, you can't turn in an essay and follow it and try to explain to the reader, this is what I meant. This is what I meant. Once you turn that essay in,
You have to just...
it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't explain the punctuation, what you're feeling.
Or like what they should get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's true. And that's scary.
Yeah.
But that's true of my songs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of, like, I want to show people, we're driving in the car, and I'm like, should I show them my new song? Like, should I show them what I'm working on? And then I'll play it, and then I'll be like, tell me. No, one time I didn't even say anything, and then nothing was said. I was just like, okay, like, nothing was said, and then I'll ask them, and I'll say, oh, like, tell me what you think, and then same response where it's like, oh, that's nice, like, good job, and I'm like, like,
I know.
I was hoping for more, but yeah.
It's hard. Silence when it's over, or the word nice.
Yeah. We're just like...
That is not what you want as an artist.
Yeah, I told him too. Because there's times where I'll ask him, and then he'll be like, oh, it's good. I'm like, just good? I'm just good?
I know. And it's humbling because you, as an artist, you have to just kind of...
Like, take it.
You have to take it. Yeah, you just have to,
That's just, I think, your way of maybe, like, I can maybe improve a little more on the song, or I don't know, like, maybe that's... Because people are... I don't know. With her, I tell her, like, there's certain parts that I won't like in her songs. But with other people, I might be... it's okay, but I'm not going to be like, it's trash and I don't like it, because, I don't know, that's not the type of person I am, but I will tell them, like, where they could improve.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I should be a little more mean.
No,
that's a whole nother podcast.
Because I do believe in seeing people's genuine reactions.
That's
what
it is.
Yeah. You can't. So I'll look at his reaction, and if it's not genuine, like I can't force it. And our songs, should be giving people a feeling, and that's the key. So I try to look for reactions, and if I don't get that reaction, I'm like, okay, there's something that I'm missing that is not giving people a feeling. 'Cause that's what music is.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it's just that someone doesn't see it. Yeah. And thousands, sometimes millions of others do.
True.
My closest friend, who I adore, so this is not a dig,
but
didn't like my most popular song, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just because it wasn't in the genre that he likes.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, so that can happen too.
Yeah.
But, so you have to, it's difficult. It's a tightrope. You listen to other people, and maybe you do need to go back and tweak it.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't.
Yeah.
So it's, speaking as an educator, you have the math teachers, 2 + 2, of course, is 4.
Yeah.
Everything's concrete, but
in
art's not that way.
Yeah.
That's what makes it, I think, fascinating.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes we can't go based off other people, because sometimes we just have to release it, because maybe, like you said, like a million people like it, and just those few that you asked didn't. And so you just,
Yeah. And then on the other hand, if no one likes it, then maybe.
Yeah, you're like,
okay.
It's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah. And one wants to say, oh, I just wrote it for me, but it's a performance art situation. So you really are trying to share it.
Have you gotten have you posted or like done marketing on social media for your music?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Stephen Lee 323.
Ooh, nice. Follow him.
That's a plug. Yeah. And on YouTube. But I'm working on also doing other things and promoting it. I'm I just started a Kickstarter promotion, so
Yeah, nice.
anyone who wants to get involved in supporting my work and do
Is that what the videos were for? The cafecito
yeah,
videos?
Cafecito
Yay,
video,
I can't-
yeah.
yeah.
And then I did a video called March Back to Love, which is a ballad. A friend of mine directed it, Daryl Phillips. He did a great job directing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you received any like negative comments from like strangers?
Strangers.
And if you have, how do you deal with it?
Or family members.
Oh yeah, I
Or
did.
family members.
Or family or friends.
Well, let's see. I have a long list.
Yeah, you're like,
No.
let me pull it. You're like, I actually have screenshots.
I know. On Facebook, I forgot I'm on Facebook. I've had a lot of good responses, but one person put, "You're not all that."
No way! Was it a stranger?
A stranger.
It's so funny how people really take the time.
I know. I don't
They
even know this person.
I've had my fair share.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I'm a very sensitive person, and I was very, very surprised that I laughed at it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, maybe I've grown. Maybe all of those 12-step books.
Yeah, worked. You're like,
have
it's finally
worked.
working.
Finally, those self-help books have worked.
That's funny.
Because I actually laughed, and
Yeah.
I heard myself laugh, and I was surprised. I
You're
deleted
like,
it.
I'm laughing right
I'm
now?
laughing. I deleted it because
Yeah.
I'm thinking we don't need all that negativity.
Yeah.
And then one kid said, I can still see his face. I played a song, and he goes, "That's cringeworthy."
No, he did not. Wait, and it was a kid?
It was a kid.
I'm telling you, the kids are ruthless.
I know, he was really
That's
ruthless.
so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
quickly changed to something more current with a hip hop song.
Yeah.
And he went, "Oh, that's better."
Oh my God. I would have been like,
Yeah.
who's your mother?
I know, really. F minus.
Yeah.
That's fine. Actually, hand me back your test from the other day.
Exactly. I'm joking. Whoever's listening. But yeah.
You know, I was telling him, which I remember, I don't know if you remember, that deleting comments sometimes isn't the best thing.
Oh no. And
Yeah.
why
That's
is
what I was
that?
thinking of right now.
You were thinking that too?
I was thinking of that. Because she got hate comments, and I'm like, are you going to delete it? And
No,
she's
you
like,
no, you didn't ask me. You were like, delete it.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I just said delete it. And she's like, no, I'm not going to delete it. But she can explain.
So I have this thing where even if it makes me feel like or uncomfortable, I leave it because sometimes that brings the best engagement.
Oh.
So good or bad, it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. It doesn't know if it's good or bad. It just sees it as people commenting. So if people are sharing it, even if people are saying a bunch of negative comments, like it's more, maybe you have some people defending you. Maybe you have some, like, for example, there was, I'll say the comment that he wanted me to delete. It was like we posted a video on TikTok, and I know my nose is not like that small, which I'm perfectly fine with. And someone had made a comment. Oh, I think I said a little birdie said in the video. I said a little birdie said, and then someone commented she smelled that birdie. And, I'm over here like, I know what he means by it. And I didn't get offended. I was like, it is what I can't change my nose. Like, so I'm fine with it. Like, and he was telling me you should delete it. I'm like, well, what if people come in who have a big nose and defend me?
Yeah.
Like, what if
And I'm looking at you, I'm thinking, what big nose?
I
Like,
know,
seriously, I'm like, what?
Yeah, and but I let it just because it can bring engagement, and
That's a good point.
Did someone defend you?
No.
Oh.
But maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm gonna
one
get on
day.
there and defend
yeah,
you.
you're like, let me go to the video.
Yeah.
But and that's why when you see celebrities like Selena Gomez or like any Kylie Jenner, they have their fans fighting in the comments. I don't know if you've seen.
I know of it.
Just
Yeah.
fighting, and it's bringing them more engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and or maybe they're not fighting in the comments and it's just hate comments.
Yeah.
But that's also attention.
Yeah. Since I've been doing this and putting it out there, I've been really empathizing with a lot of entertainers, especially the younger ones. And, when you're a kid and you listen to music, you don't think really about the person the artist being a human being in a way. It's a brand, you know, and, you know, I'm thinking of, you know, Britney Spears and Justin Bieber and a lot of these younger performers who sometimes have personal issues that end up in the news. I can kind of understand why, because it's really hard to put your work out there and say, well, they're not attacking me, they're attacking the song. They didn't like the song.
Yeah.
And then it even turns into, well, they are attacking me
They are.
for the people who are huge, you know, like Beyonce and all of that. So I can see you really need to have a level head to go into this business. You really need to support staff. You really need to check your one's insecurities.
Yeah.
Because it can be really challenging. You almost feel like you have I don't know, you're really being looked at.
Yeah.
Very, very closely, particularly when your songs are intimate and you're talking about things that are really real to you.
Yeah.
You're being very, very vulnerable, and it can be a little scary.
Yeah, and it's I've seen there was where they lose their sparkle.
Yes.
They lose their, or even their love for the whatever it is they're doing, like the songs and for the industry, but they still have to work.
Oh yes, I can really identify with that. Yeah, you still have to work. Yeah, that's your whole full-time job there.
Well, it happens even outside of music. Like even in a normal 9 to 5, someone may
still
not.
have
Right.
Maybe you start loving your job, but 30 years go by.
You're
At
not
the
gonna
end of
love
it, you're
as
like,
much.
damn, I'm dreading this.
Yeah.
So I think it happens in all aspects of life too.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. Yeah, finding why one chose something to begin with is very, very important.
And reminding yourself.
Reminding yourself and keeping it fresh, looking at it from a different angle also. And sometimes we need to take breaks.
Yes. We were, you could tell them the experience where we were doing a podcast every Monday, and then that took a toll on us.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, like obviously we work, and then it was podcast, and there's editing, and then posting on TikTok, Instagram, and then cooking and cleaning and this
Oh, God.
and
Date night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 'cause-
Friends. Family.
yeah, friends and family want to hang out with us. It just all started to like crumble down, and I was like, I think we do need a little break.
Cause we were like, we're not gonna miss a Monday. We're like, we're gonna like be consistent, and we were with I think like 13 episodes of like every Monday, and if we were on it, and then we just were like, we need a break, like, you know, and it wasn't until last
We were kind of
Sunday.
forced
I was
into a break. We went on a
which was good for
yeah.
us though, because we had things to do, vacation, like we went to go visit my family for like a week, so we couldn't record anything there. And then so but it, like you said, a break it's
important.
necessary.
Yeah, you get a different perspective after the break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come fresh and, just a fresh brain. You want to start. It's just like, I remember, like, since you're a teacher, I was in school, and then I remember, like, the first weeks of school, I loved it. I was like, yes, new backpack, new notebook, new pen, new clothes. I got my new shoes. I'm walking down. But then towards the end, you have finals. You're like, stressing, and you just don't feel like the same. But then you go on a little winter break.
Yes.
You come back and you get that same thing, new backpack, and it goes again. So you need that little, week or two break. Like every so often.
To reset.
Yeah, to reset. It's important.
Yeah, and to make it not seem like a routine.
Yeah.
Because once it's a routine, it can deaden things.
Yeah.
So mixing it
It'll
up.
make you go crazy.
I know.
Like,
Exactly. But with teaching and with doing these songs and all the things I'm doing, I feel like I'm on a tightrope, but it's a good tightrope.
Yeah.
So there's no routine anymore.
So, do you want to?
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, since you're, like, a Spanish teacher and we speak Spanish, like, have any of your students ever said some, like, bad words to you in Spanish? Like, they're like
playing around.
or, like, joking around?
Joking around,
Yeah? What do you say to them?
I just look, they can tell by my response.
Yeah, you're like...
Because, even in English, of course, I'm not going to tolerate that in the classroom.
Yeah.
So I'll normally have that,
like the...
whiplash. Or kind of
You're like...
Yeah.
You're like... the whip.
The whip. Chancla.
the ruler.
Teachers used to hit kids
I
back
know,
then.
yeah, exactly,
Oh
exactly.
my gosh,
So-
I can't believe that.
Yeah, so they can tell by my response because it's so surprising to me that it's going to be said in my
Yeah.
classroom. So, all of a sudden my eyes get really big and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
You're like, I'm sorry. You don't even have to say anything.
No,
I really don't. I
Yeah.
really don't.
No chancla.
No, John.
I know
No,
that.
chancla.
Yeah. You're like, what is like, ven pa acá.
Right.
Wait, is it ven pa acá or ven pa aquí?
No, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I said it right. See?
Yeah.
Learning.
We're gonna have to hire Mr. Lee to,
For me?
to teach you some classes.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm learning, yeah.
And the ruler will be your punishment.
Oh my
Oh,
god. Bro, my mom said, or my grandma. I forgot who it was, but someone said that in school, when they would get in trouble, like the teacher would say like, give me your hand, or like put out your hand, and they would hit them with the ruler.
Yeah.
That was the same way.
Yeah?
Back in Mexico. They
Yeah.
used to hit you. Like just bah.
Wow.
I wonder
Yeah.
when that stopped, or like what made that stop. Like,
Probably parents complaining and seeing
Yeah.
their kids like with the black eye one day.
I know.
Like,
yeah, exactly. What did you do? I just said hello.
I just said, it's like cute.
I don't like your tone.
If they're having like a bad day, like.
So yeah, it's kind of precarious to still have that
Yeah.
happening, but
Yeah.
some places they still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure never to go or never to take my kids there.
I used to teach what used to be called ESL, and now it's called ELD. Students who have just arrived from other countries, and they
Oh.
would tell me, they'd say, in Russia, you don't know, or wherever they're from, yeah.
I remember I used to hear stories because I used to make friends with them back in high school.
Yeah.
And they were mainly kids from Central America, and I would
Right.
talk to them, and they would tell me their
They would say-
struggles, and
Oh.
it's way different. It's like, I tell Kelsey and other like my friends like, we live in such a nice country compared to theirs. Like we don't
Yeah.
have to deal with all that.
Yeah, we don't.
Crap, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you can't just go into the classroom and like, don't hit me.
Yeah.
They'll probably hit you again for saying that.
You're like, what did you say?
Yeah.
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 But on the other hand, it's really interesting to hear these different perspectives from other countries.
Yeah.
Again, one of my Russian students, he had just arrived, and I asked him to read, and he immediately stood up out of his seat.
Oh,
Because in Russia,
really?
you have to, when you're called on, you have to stand.
wow.
Yeah. In fact, when the teacher comes in the room, all the students
You
must
have to
stand.
Like out of
Wow.
respect, right? Like
out
a
of
sign of
res-
respect.
yes, out of respect. And some of that, it was helpful
Yeah.
for students to remember respect.
I think
Yeah.
those students are just really on their toes.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like, yeah, and I think maybe even they were taught through fear.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. But some of it is endearing. I'm just thinking of a great story, but I'm not I don't come out so good in the story, but I'll tell it anyway.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
no
don't worry.
worries. We've grown.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
kind of a hokey story, but
Yeah.
I was teaching English as a second language to these students, and I was sitting in my chair, and I wanted to reach for something in the cupboard near me, and I was a little lazy, and I didn't get up. And so I reached, and I fell out of my chair.
Whoa.
Just fell down. So I'm behind my desk, and I'm thinking, okay, when I rise, there's going to be laughter, there's going to
Yeah.
be pointing, there's going to be... And then I get up, and the kids are standing, and they're all mortified, and their hands are out like this. And I said, I thought you were going to laugh. And I'll never forget the student's response. Why would we laugh?
Oh, because you would think.
Yes.
Did you get emotional?
I did get emotional.
Yeah.
I did get emotional because I thought, I'm getting emotional now.
Yeah.
No, but
Because,
that's okay.
because I thought, wow, this is really sweet. I mean, and wholesome and respectful. Yeah.
And a lot of kids, actually, that's something I wanted to talk about, was I've seen videos on social media of teachers talking from their experience,
Yes.
saying that kids aren't how they used to be.
Right.
That because of social media, like they're the things that they listen to, things that they watch, they're like meaner now. They have no respect,
Yeah.
and that the parents themselves don't discipline their kids the way they should.
Right.
And it shows up in the classroom. And so she was just saying how like she lost the love of being a teacher, and I think it was either for elementary or middle school, one of
Yeah.
those. But she was just saying how hard it is now, and like, have you had that same experience?
Well, I have, and it's really interesting that I am a teacher because I taught some years ago, and I left teaching for 10 years.
Whoa. What were you doing in the meantime in that gap?
I was working at this publishing company. I did all these other jobs.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm going to be this businessman, and I really wanted to be a businessman and make money.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it was just too hard. I couldn't control the class. And I thought, well, I can't control the class. It's very upsetting, and I'm not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this was, I was teaching in Maryland at the time.
Oh, wow.
So I left. To my shock, I missed it.
You missed it.
I
Really?
thought, do not, you have a company car, a company credit card, do not quit this job and go back to teaching.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I miss it. And this voice in my head kept saying, but you weren't good at it.
You were good at it.
And I thought to myself, well, what happened? And I remember the kids when they were packing my up at the end of the year at the job that I had in Maryland. And I said, why are you guys so rude?
Yeah.
And they said, you were mean.
Really?
And I thought, it took me 10 years to figure out what they meant by mean. It kind of stayed in my head. Did they mean that? Did they mean that mean? I'm thinking of English. Mean. Were they saying I was? Were they just saying that because they didn't want any discipline at all?
Yeah.
Were they just saying that because they say that to all adults? Were they just saying because of my rules, or was I really mean?
Yeah.
So I had to really think about it because I've never been called a mean person by anyone
Right.
in my life personally. And I thought, oh, that's it. I changed who I was to be a teacher, and they felt it.
Yeah.
They
In what way?
Like authority, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like where it's like direction, but no like heart or feeling or
no
love.
heart or feeling.
Yeah.
Right. And I was mean out of fear that they also sensed. I mean, it took me a long time to figure it out. So I decided I'm going to go back to teaching. I'm going to be a substitute teacher, but I'm going to be myself.
Oh, yeah.
There's still going to be the rules. There's still going to be, I'm the teacher. I'm demanding respect.
The balance.
But balance.
Yeah.
You're not just as soon as they come in, sit down.
It's hard to find that balance.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I could not believe, really on the first day of coming back after a 10-year absence, none of the kids were interrupting me. Everyone was working.
So they had like respect for you.
There was respect, but they sensed I was coming from a different place.
Yeah.
And so I've been happy ever since. It's really hard to teach if you're really unhappy because the kids will really make you even more unhappy.
Even more.
Yeah. Because they feel unloved.
Yeah.
You know, they feel like a lot of kids are latchkey kids, and there's no fault of the parent. The parents have to work, but they feel like, you know, what adult is taking care of me? What adult cares for me? And some kids have that feeling more than others. So when they show up in your classroom and they can feel you don't want to be there, they'll subconsciously and sometimes consciously get you back.
Yeah.
You know, by being disruptive, by being angry. So a lot of those things, you know, I know that it's kind of philosophical on my part, but I think about them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those kids that were showing up in that way.
Yeah, I can see. Some kids I have a few where I'm not the teacher who's going to reach them, and I have to let it go.
That's why, and that's the hard part, because what if it's like you want to help them?
Yeah.
But also it's like you can't help everyone.
You can't.
It's hard.
It's
or
hard.
do they even want to be helped?
Right. Yeah. it's a developmental thing, you know. I meet them at their point in their journey in life, and maybe they're not ready, or maybe I represent someone that they didn't like in the past, or they have a conception of me that's blocking them. There's all kinds of things. But just like with art, you have to try. Don't take it personally.
And I think like middle school is like prime time for like trauma, you know, like things.
Right.
That's like core
That's when things hit you.
memories. That's like it's shaping them to how they're gonna be when they grow older.
Yeah.
You're dealing with that middle and like the transition of them. They're gonna be in high school. Like they probably already want to be in high school. They're like they think they're older already, right?
Yeah. And you get surprises as a teacher at the end of the year. Every year this happens, and I tell myself, remember this, and I never remember it. And that is a student who's been looking at you, I don't know if you can see my mean face, but making a mean face all year long. At the end of the school year, you get a tap, you know, they're graduating.
Yeah.
They turn around, and it's that student, and they go, you were my favorite teacher.
Really? And the whole time they had like a resting face. Like
Resting face, even angry face.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was you.
But I was just,
But then at the end of the year, like,
I'll be like, thank you for being such a great teacher. I appreciate it. And
like, thank you for letting me be me. That's
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it's always a surprise. And most teachers will tell you that you never know.
yeah.
So, how would you like go about like reprimanding a child like that? Because there's a line where you can't. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if sometimes when I like say a cousin or something, if I feel like I need to like reprimand them, I'm like, there's a line of like you're being too much and then you're being too soft.
Oh, that's really difficult. Well, it helps when you know the person as much as you can. And so I do something a little atypical, and it hasn't backfired yet. But I say, I don't like the way you're talking to me. Would you like to take a break?
Oh.
And that works really, really, really well.
Yeah. I feel like that would work on me too. Because right now I felt like I'll go take a break.
Take a break for about 10 years.
I walk out. I'm like, okay.
Go take a break. We'll handle this.
Yeah. And saying it in that calm way. Sometimes, you know, the acting comes in, and I have to act like I'm calm.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know. But I think acknowledging that they're not angry at you when they're in a bad mood is helpful. And to frame it in the way that you're saying, this isn't acceptable. This is a classroom. But I'm allowing your emotions. I'm honoring your emotions.
Yeah.
You know, so occasionally a student will say, "Oh, I hate this class," and I say, "You're entitled to your feelings, but keep it to yourself."
Yeah.
You know, it's all about acknowledging the feeling, and really trying not to make the child wrong. You know, that's really important in any conflict. You know, to try
it's
not.
So hard.
It's really hard. You don't want to demolish the person.
Break their spirit.
And you can't feel that.
Yeah.
Stop feeling that. I really try hard not to do that, and it's been very helpful for me.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I never thought, because I think that would even work with a dog.
Yeah.
Like
You're low-key a therapist too.
Yeah.
Teacher, therapist, daycare.
Well, in
everything.
that case, we'll just start telling him our problems.
You have to be all those things to teach. And unfortunately, if you're missing one of them,
your job gets harder.
Your job gets harder.
Yeah. You had mentioned like the pay like in Maryland wasn't good. I don't know. This was like a decade ago. Are you able to say how much you were getting paid then?
It's substantially less.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I know like that's like the main topic. Teachers are not getting paid what they deserve, and they're sometimes
like strikes.
There's strikes.
Yeah, we've been through a couple. Yeah. We went through one 5 years ago in the torrential rain.
Oh,
I'll never forget that.
Really?
I mean, it was just, we were walking for.
In the rain?
In the rain. I mean, really hard rain.
You guys wanted to get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
So since then, we've been, it's been okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, it always has to be adjusted to the cost of living.
Yeah.
You know, it's, and so And then this is really for the newer teachers. It goes up as you stay in the field.
Right.
So yeah, so it's good, but it's in LA. LA, the pay is far better than other places in the country. Oh yeah,
really?
So
far better.
if you're a teacher in LA, are you able to live off of off of the being a teacher and like pay your housing,
Like
your
like
entertainment,
comfortably?
your food? Are you able to live at a comfortable rate, or you need another side gig or whatever?
The first 5 years, no.
Okay.
Yeah, the first 5 years, no, which is unfortunate
Yeah.
because you're at a lower pay scale and you're learning the job, and you have a lot of teachers leaving the field
Yeah.
between those years because they're thinking, the kids are disruptive, and I don't have the skills yet to manage that, and I can't make ends meet. So a lot of people leave the field, and a lot of people who leave really should be there because why choose it if you don't love kids and you don't love the subject matter?
Yeah.
You can't just love the subject matter, though. You have to love the kids and both.
Yeah.
But after about 5 years, it
starts getting better.
it starts getting better. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, and it works
There's
out.
a lot that you guys have to endure. Like, it's not just like teaching. Like you said, you have to deal with the kids, and also you have to understand that the kids, you will have an impact on them, and they will also remember you in the future, maybe. Like,
and dealing with the parents too, if they're a
Dealing with the
little
parents.
hard, if they're like difficult parents, they come to you like, why are you?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it can be surprising.
I remember those parents back in the day.
That was my parent.
Oh,
my mom was, my mom
I'll
was
be like-
that mom.
I'll be at the parents' conferences. What do they call it? After school conferences.
yes, or back to school.
Like in middle school or high school, and I would hear like in the corner of my, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on over there?
Oh, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember mine. When I was younger, I never really paid attention.
Yeah.
And I was always just wanted to play. Like, I just always wanted to like do something else. And it wasn't until my teacher thought maybe she'll learn if I give her a star after every class. And like, let's see how she does with that. And when she gave me the star the first time, I was so happy. And then if I was doing bad, she'll give me a sad face. And she'll put a sad face on the Post-it note. She'll like, here. And it made me feel horrible. And I remember like every day I would say, I want a star. I want a star. So then I would like purposefully I would try to be good because I wanted that star. So and she only did that with me. So it was like nice that a teacher like her really took the time to find what worked for me.
Yeah.
I still have not given you a star yet.
Yeah, you haven't given me a star. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that, I guess.
Yeah. Finding what works for an individual student is very, very challenging.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a friend who was always in gifted classes, and it never occurred to me not to put up on a bulletin board an A+ essay, and he said that it would make him crazy.
Really?
So now I tell them, if you want me to put your work up on the bulletin board, leave it out and I'll come around and get it. If not, you can put it away.
Because it makes them feel good.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
thought.
Yeah,
But
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like if I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, like my essay's on there.
yeah, exactly.
I'll put my F grade up there.
Oh, no.
This is what you shouldn't do.
I know,
Oh
the
my
rebel
Yeah.
in you. Yeah.
But going back to music, what inspired you to start making music?
COVID-19.
Really?
Yeah, I was cleaning up, as we all were in the first year of COVID, and because we're housebound, and I ran across a cassette, and you remember cassettes?
Yeah, I remember.
Cassettes, and from really long time ago, maybe I was 15 years old, and I put it in, and I heard the music, and I heard my voice, and I thought, this is not bad. Yeah, and I had really forgotten about it because I was teaching. I was into teaching. I totally didn't see myself as an artist or a singer-songwriter. I thought it was in the past. And I thought, well, let me go online and see if there's any studios open. So I called someone and I said, are you accepting any clients? Because we're in the middle of COVID. And so he said yes, and I showed up with, I looked like I was a CIA agent. I had not only the mask, but the gloves, and he was wiping everything down.
The hazmat suit.
We were both just really, nervous,
Yeah.
And then I happened to have an old track that I said, do you have the equipment for this old track?
It's like,
yeah, it's so old, and he put it together. I think it was a DAT. Nobody uses those anymore. And he said, well, we can reconfigure it. And then the music came on. And I was thinking, reconfigure it for as long as you need to, because I haven't sung in a long time.
Yeah.
I was very nervous.
Yeah.
And then it came on, and I couldn't believe it. It just came right out.
Yeah.
And then it worked. The song worked. My singing worked. And so I've been doing it ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to also touch on, that's like really interesting how you said that. But I also want to talk about your life before. How did you get to this point? Because we only know where you're at right now,
Gotcha.
and maybe a couple years back before COVID. But what adversities or risks did you take to get to this point where you're at in life right now?
Well, that's a good question. I think the quickest answer is discontent. I think that's the quickest answer. Boredom. And I thought, okay, I'm teaching. I'm really on there, and I'm going to the gym. I watch movies on Netflix. Same routine. And then I thought, there's something still kind of missing.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, I think a lot of us had a lot of introspection, and that's when I thought it was this vague feeling about music. Yeah. And I kept thinking, oh no, it's over, I'm not one of those people who walk around singing and humming and somebody goes, you sound good. It doesn't happen. And so I really just wasn't singing at all. So the cassette made me, when I heard it, it was like listening to someone I didn't know.
Yeah.
There was an objectivity that had developed. But to your question before that, I was really thinking, what is missing? I'm just really, I couldn't figure it out. And I think, I was really, it was kind of divine intervention that I had that cassette and I heard it. And I wasn't able to be critical me because I thought what I thought when I heard it is, who's that?
You're like, what? I should be on the TV already. You're like, why did I stop?
I did realize one thing. I said, I see why I stopped to answer your question, because the song wasn't that great. And I could tell what I was doing with, I immediately could tell what I did with the song. What I was doing was, I had the beat and I was singing the melody on the beat every time. So it was kind of crowded.
Yeah.
So I needed to, I could hear that immediately. I needed to hear the beat and then put the melody in between the beats. And then it became, it was strange. I could hear it like that. But I guess I'm a slow learner because I couldn't realize it then. Same with teaching.
But you
reflect.
You reflect, you grow, and there's never a time frame for everyone is on their own time and own path.
But I want it now.
I know you're like,
we all want now. You sound like the middle school kids.
Yeah, I want it now. My agreement was to have everything that I want now.
But so I know you mentioned you were dabbling into acting.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to ask, do you get shy? Do you get nervous? Or when you do those roles and whatnot?
Well, I don't really get nervous when I'm acting, but so far I've just done it. Well, I did do one live thing recently, but most of the time it's been on Zoom with my playwriting group. But I have done it live, and I haven't gotten really nervous. I turn into a bit of a ham, which is the light comes on and all of a sudden
you're a different person.
I'm kind of a different person. I'm almost more relaxed on stage than I am in my personal life.
Really?
Yeah, I think being able to say, "Oh, that's not me. The character did it," helps.
Do people ever make comments like, whoa, you're so tall. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Or
Yeah.
do they put you in roles where you would need to be tall? Like,
So far, no. Largely because in the playwriting group that I'm in, it's all right. There's all writers, so it's a small pool of actors, so they're forced to choose me.
yeah. Oh no, I'm sure they wanted to, not forced.
Thank you. So no.
He's 6'6", by the way.
Oh, yeah,
guys.
6'6". Yeah,
Wow.
6'6". Yeah.
You
So
look more like 7 foot. To
I
me.
know, boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next to me, that's why.
We'll have you guys stand next to each
Oh,
other.
he's like,
I'm
no,
5'1".
No, you're
Nah.
like 5'6".
No.
5'6", 5'7". I don't know.
So
We all pull the
that's-
measurements right now.
Wow.
No,
So-
but I had. Oh, sorry. What?
No, I'm done. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say like I was thinking of a few like rapid fire questions I wanted to ask
Oh boy. See,
Like
come on
I
to it.
guess what is like something that a middle school kid or I guess like someone who you had in class with a moment that stuck with you?
Well, the story about falling and the student saying
That one?
that why would we laugh, that stands out to me. A student from Israel being upset by a fire drill because he came from an area where there were bombs, and he wasn't. And he got
like PTSD.
yeah, that stood out.
What was that like? Like that story.
Well, that was harrowing, really, because he really wanted to talk about it with the whole class, and
Ah,
yeah,
brave.
And did he?
he did, and
Wow.
the entire class was riveted. Unfortunately, this is a very negative situation, of course.
Yeah, but the fact that he took power in speaking about it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah. So that stood out. There's so many. I have on my coffee table a student who.
Cafecito table.
My
Your
cafecito table. A student who wrote me a really nice note, even complimenting my dad jokes. You know, so, and I have notes. My mom's a retired teacher, and she's received notes as well. And
Those are the best, I bet.
yeah, I mean, sometimes the students say things you just can't believe, so that
Yeah.
stands out.
I never thought they would say something like that.
Yeah. A few years ago, I was at a stoplight, and somebody was trying to get my attention in the car, and they were just going crazy and trying to get me to roll down my
Yeah.
window, and I'm thinking, who is this? And I finally rolled it down, and they went, Mr. Lee!
And do you recognize them? Because they grow older, right? They're
Right.
small,
He's like, no.
I know.
You're
That's
like,
it's too.
It's hard.
Yeah, because they've changed. It's been a long time. So
Yeah.
I
30
don't-
kids every
Oh yeah.
semester.
Like they'll still remember you, but
I know.
vice versa, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen videos on TikTok where there was like this really, really tall man and he put a camera on. I don't know if he put a camera on. I don't know if it was like on his. Somewhere hidden. Or unless there was just a camera, like, I don't know, somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was like from his point of view.
Oh yeah.
And you just see like as he walks past, like you see people like look up, look back, like they're just like looking like that, and it would be cool to get that point of view.
That would be.
Yeah.
Friends of mine are always telling me. In fact, my nephew, I took him to Universal Studios,
Nice.
and he's like, "Everyone's looking at you,"
Really?
and I'm just so oblivious.
Because you're used to it,
I'm
right?
used to it, yeah.
It's cool,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. But I was kind of proud. Oh, everyone's looking at you, Theo. Oh.
Yeah, you're like there was also like people who were tall and they had a hunch problem because they were self-conscious.
Yeah.
So they would try to like kind of make themselves feel like smaller with everyone else. Did you ever have that issue?
Well, two things. I noticed that I do that when I take pictures, and I've been trying. I've been telling myself. So I'm going to stand.
Yeah,
stand
you're
up,
gonna
right?
stand.
Yeah, because I'm always kind of like
Yeah.
So I still do that with pictures, but with the walking, I don't quite do it. And I remember the turning point. I was in high school, and I passed. You know how you're walking and there's a department store window or something?
Yeah.
I saw myself. And I was like, what is
This
that?
is how I look.
Yeah, I remember. And I said, you know what? I was really conscious of it then, but I said we're not doing that anymore. So,
absolutely not.
We're not doing that. So the walking, I think I've fixed a bit, but I'm still with pictures when I'm with people, and everybody is smaller than me pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just you're small. It's someone who's 6 feet tall. My brothers are 6 feet.
Wow.
They're
So
dwarfed.
You're taller than them?
Yeah.
And how tall are your parents?
My dad was about 6 feet, 6'1". My mom's about 5.
So you
10.
just
Yeah. There's a family portrait, and there's this person, and then all of a sudden.
they're like, you must be the dad.
I know. So I was always very, very, very tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So there's still hope for our kids.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll turn
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was 6 foot.
Yeah.
But to close this off, I just want to tell you, like, is there anything else you want to say? But I mean, I was gonna say a last question. Sorry, but is there any advice that you give to maybe, since you're a teacher, to your students on this stage that they're at, like a 12 to 13-year-olds, on elevating through life and the challenges that there is in life? Like any advice for them to pursue their dreams?
Yeah.
Because life's hard, right?
It's true. Some people think when you say life is hard, it's pessimistic, but
no.
it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be more of a hurdle to act like it isn't hard and isn't a challenge, because then you have these surprises.
Yeah.
But so I would say, oh boy, that's a difficult question, but I would say when life is hard and when you're in a bad mood, try not to let that derail you from your education and bettering yourself. And you're never getting back at life by doing poorly. You're never getting back at your parents by selling drugs, joining a gang, by being disruptive. All of those things are just hurting you. You're not, I mean, a lot of students, and understandably so, they come from very, very, very hard situations, so I'm not saying, just pick yourself up from your bootstraps. But I am saying try to learn to compartmentalize. Put that to one side, but while you're at school, apply yourself, because it will pay off.
For yourself.
For yourself.
Not for anybody else.
For yourself. Yeah. And I really support you if you say, but no one's supporting me. No one says I'm doing a good job. Everyone's treating me in a stereotypical way because I'm a girl, because I'm this, because I'm that. That happens. It's real, and it's unfortunate. But keep thinking about how you're going to have a better life.
Because otherwise, they're winning.
Otherwise, it's they're winning. Yeah, you're getting nobody. I mean, some students think, I'm not going to apply myself. But I always tell them, your name is on that report card, not mine. This represents you. So do you want to take a picture, a purposely bad picture of yourself? No, you're going to get all to yourself together. So this report card represents you. Is that fair? Not necessarily, but the world works that way. When it's time to go to college, they're going to pull all that up in the computer, and they're going to say, in the 8th grade, you got a D in Spanish, so you have to take, what? But I'm 18 now. That was so long ago.
It affects you.
It affects you. Yeah. So hang in there, basically. Hang in there.
I think that's a great piece of advice, and that's just not, I think, advice that you gave for just middle school, but for everyone. So it caters to everyone. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
And Mr. Lee, the stage is yours. Where can they find you on Spotify, Apple Music, all platforms, Instagram?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm on Instagram, Stephen Lee 323, and I'm on YouTube. So subscribe to both of those, please.
What's the name of the YouTube? Is it just Stephen?
It's just Stephen Lee. Okay. Yes,
Stephen Lee.
Use Stephen Lee. There's a couple of Stephen Lees on there, but if you put Cafecito Stephen Lee, you'll find me for sure, which is my latest single, Cafecito. Yeah.
Guys, make sure to check out Cafecito. It's live now. Yeah. Make sure to watch it, listen to it on YouTube, whatever. Thank you so much. It's Anthony.
Kelsey.
Peace.